attended the R2M program back in 2019. I did it together with a couple of people in my group when we decided to fund the company, and it was quite a revelation, I would say, because I really had no business experience whatsoever, and it definitely opened my eyes to the number of things that you really needed to take into consideration.
So yeah, the R2M program, so the first time I was involved in the program as an ambassador for CSU Ventures. So at that time, I was helping to guide companies through the process. And then the second time I was involved with the program was when I was actually participating it as a company. So going through the program a second time, but this time doing the actual interviews pertaining to my company vision.
The key learning from the CSU R2M was understanding the importance of a champion. One thing that we took away was early on in our customer discovery, we found one person that was able to open up their network to many people, who was then able to multiply that and open us up to multiple other people. And if it wasn't for that, I don't think we would have found some of the key learnings that we ended up realizing.
Our company is data and discovery driven, and we learned this through the I-Core program, or a discovery platform where we used hypothesis testing to validate how good our ideas were for a market fit.
My experience with I-Core R2M, really, I've played a role as an industry mentor. I participated in the CCTSI short course I-Core program, again, that was sponsored through NIH, but I've also been an industry mentor for R2M in the past. So there's a lot of value in the trainings behind I-Core and R2M. I would say that they are absolutely fundamental to developing a product. If you have an idea, a product to develop, going through those trainings are really, really pivotal to that development process. The product that you're developing is only viable if you can identify a customer, a target market that you're developing it for. And I would say for SciVec and our team, customer discovery is an iterative process. We're always listening. We're always learning about what our customer wants. And in this case, being a biotech company, we're listening to pharmaceutical companies. They represent our customers. And so we're always looking to learn and hear about what their focus areas are. And that can change year to year as well. So again, customer discovery for us is iterative. We're always looking to engage and have these discussions and learn more about, through their business development programs, what different technologies, what different pains and problems they're facing in order to develop our technology to better suit those needs.
I see R2M program as a true scientific process to business. So, because when you start a company, you have some idea. Idea is nothing but hypothesis. So R2M is a scientific process in a way that you have some sort of hypothesis. You want to go out there and test your hypothesis by talking to people, potential customers, and stakeholders within your value chain to either support your hypothesis or refute your hypothesis. So, I see R2M program, even though it was an 8 weeks program, but I see it more than 8 weeks. Actually, constantly, I'm applying the same concept today in my company, because we have some ideas. Okay, can we go out and talk to people to see how people reaction to the idea and see if it's something that's worth pursuing or not worth pursuing. So I would say the R2M program is just teach you how to fish, and constantly you're applying it. We are applying it every day in our day-to-day business.
Yeah, I think the R2M program really helped us kind of look more at our long-term strategy. Also made me understand what kind of a CEO, what kind of a business driver that we would really need to make the company successful. I didn't have much insight in that before going through the program, but I think working with the people at the R2M program and the other participants that were there. It was really, just a learning experience that also made me more aware of some of the complexities that were involved and the kinds of things that we would need to do to be successful.
I'd ask the faculty, like, are your students in a position where they can do this? My co-founder and I were in a very fortunate position that we had like 14 papers by our third year. So like our resumes were not hurt, our job prospects were not hurt by doing something like this and putting the time there. I think if someone like had a very poor like resume, like this is not going to make them, I don't know if this is like the best use of time unless they're 100% like all in on making a company. So I'm coming from what I'd consider a very privileged position to have done the R2M, and I want to put it in that context. And I'd say for the students that are doing the R2M, I guess like do you want to start a company, and like do you enjoy business? I mean, you learn a lot by talking to people. You learn how to network, which is huge. Like there's not that many opportunities in grad school, I don't think, outside of maybe conferences where you really learn how to network.
In R2M, we did not deviate from the pharma because it was a very short program, because we have to be hyper-focused about a particular segment and test our hypothesis on a particular segment. So, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I say R2M is a continual process. And it's not just an 8 weeks thing. It's a continual thing. So I see a lot of big corporate go under because they forgot where they came from. They stop innovating. They stop talking to people, and their product become obsolete. So I wish big company they should continue. I mean, they should continue to talk to customer and have the spirit of R2M.
One of the things that I've learned in my role here at CSU, being involved in the programming that CSU Ventures has around customer discovery and research and market activities, is that I get to see young faculty and graduate students learned what I learned in, say, 5 years in less than 5 months. And that's because, yes, I understood my technology, but I didn't understand the market. And the fact that they're going out and asking these questions and in some cases doing hundreds of interviews, you can see the progression of their sort of fullness or maturity of their, not just their technology, but of the business model that they're trying to develop.
Reflecting on starting the company and engaging in the I-Corps program, we learned so much about a potential market fit for our technology. It was actually invaluable for us to launch our company and to gain some early success.
You don't know what you don't know. You have to step into the unknown to learn what you don't know and hopefully learn something from it. So, yeah, if I would have done the R2M again, I would definitely dedicate even more time than I should be, because it's like an investment. So the more time you put into it, the more you get out of it. So ultimately, R2M is for yourself. You're not doing it for anybody else. The more you put into it, the more you get out of it. So, good thing is, so actually in 2 months, I will participate in the I-Corps program. So this time will be a full-blown R2M times 3. Like, you need to do a lot more interviews. So this time, I'll be more prepared. So R2M, I would say for sure, is before you step into the big league. I-Corps can be a shock to a lot of people because I know people went to it. It can be a pain and suffering. But I think in the COVID time, probably less, because you're not traveling. Potentially people are more likely to talk to you. So the R2M, I would say, it definitely made me more ready to take the I-Corps program in 2 months.
We've participated in the R2M market 2 times. One about 3 years ago when Steve and crew started at NREL doing a small workshop. And then a second time, I had a group of about 5 students participate in it.
Now, in 2018, we went through the CSU Research to Market Accelerator program. And what that really reminded us of was that even though we had some great initial traction from some early adopters, there was no downside to going out and going through a holistic program at looking at our startup and what we could benefit from and where were some of our blind spots. So for example, we needed to go out and talk to some of the larger markets. We had made a lot of good friends in small markets, but we needed to understand, could this little toddler grow up to something bigger? And to do that, we needed to get out and talk to customers and get feedback from the marketplace on how strong our ideas are. And so for that, we're grateful that the Research to Market program exists.
We participated in the National Science Foundation's I-Corps program, which was really transformative. In 2014, we had invented a technology called a microbial biostimulant, essentially microbes that make nutrients more available to plants and thereby increase their health and their productivity. But at that point, we didn't really know where to take that product. We didn't know whether it made sense to license it or to start a company. And when we got into the Innovation Core program, it really transformed our thinking, which led to the foundation of that company.
So R2M program, to me, was pivotal in terms of for me to think entrepreneurially, that you can apply the entrepreneurial thinking anywhere, even you have a technical career or not a technical career. So of course it will be the most important if you take it to become an entrepreneur yourself.
So when I was going through graduate school, back in the dark days in the late 80s, we didn't have the I-Corps or the R2M program, but I did have the opportunity to take classes in entrepreneurship, to classes in economics, and the most impactful was participating with a team of business students in a business plan competition, what was then called Moot Corp, but now is actually one of the largest business plan competitions hosted by the University of Texas. That really taught me how to think about an idea and how it might scale up. Taught me to understand that it wasn't just the technology, that you also needed a finance plan, a marketing plan, that you needed to think about how to build the team. And I think those same skills have really served me in my career, whether it was starting other businesses or whether it was building enterprises and institutions within the university itself.